Well, it's been another weekend. I hope everybody's weekend was good. Here in the United States, we had 11 mass shootings this weekend and more than 300 shootings altogether. Those are the right numbers. Do not adjust your television. Do not punch your phone screen. Do not throw it in the toilet and flush it. Those are the real numbers. 11 mass shootings Friday to Sunday and more than 300 shootings total. In terms of the mass shootings, we had 4 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, and 4 on Sunday. Now, understand that in the US, we have categories of shootings that don't exist in the entire world. You look at Serbia, for example, and what recently happened there with shootings, and you see that there are categories here that would sound crazy elsewhere. For example, in the United States, we have regular shootings, not mass shootings, where 1 or 2 people are killed or injured in many. That's a regular shooting. You then have mass shootings where you have 3 people injured or killed in total or more. And then you have nationally covered mass shootings, which are mass shootings that the country takes an interest in. And indeed, by the way, if you're interested about these numbers, go to gunviolencearchive.org. You can see the mass shootings. You can see all shootings over the last 72 hours. For example, this morning there have already been shootings in Los Angeles, 2 in Texas, or I'm sorry, 1 in Texas was this morning, 1 was yesterday. Okay, so you kind of get the picture. Some of these make national headlines. For example, the one in Allen, Texas did. This was at the Allen Premium Outlets, where 8 victims were killed, 7 were injured, and the shooter was, quote, neutralized, per a report by Fox 4. That one received extensive coverage, many politicians weighing in about it. We'll dig into that one in more detail a little bit later. But then there are other mass shootings that get less attention. For example, there was the one in St. Louis, Missouri, where 2 teens were killed and 2 others were injured. This was yesterday morning, Sunday morning. This one got local coverage, but didn't really get national coverage. That's because in the United States, not just shootings are so common, mass shootings are so common that it's got to be really depraved and deranged, like particularly sick, to even make national headlines. And again, that's just mass shootings. Then we have just kind of like your run-of-the-mill shootings. For example, these aren't even a blip on the radar for most of the country. This one was in Pendleton, Indiana, where a man was found shot to death, and police are seeking the public's help. This is sort of like your more pedestrian mass shooting, for lack of a better term. So this is the day-to-day reality in the United States, and we continue to have, and we're going to delve into this, we continue to have a political contingent that wants to do nothing other than offer prayers, sometimes thoughts, sometimes they will think about it, but often it's just they'll pray, sometimes thoughts and prayers, sometimes just prayers. And when I suggested, of course, on Twitter that the prayer doesn't really seem to help, even Christian schools have been shot up, and certainly there's prayer happening there. I'm the bad guy rather than all the people who want to do absolutely nothing. We then have elected officials who choose instead to focus on mental health, yet they don't want to fund mental health services, or they want to focus on violent video games, even when there's no evidence that the shooter played video games. You've all gotten to know this endless routine that we have in the United States. Another aspect to the cycle, of course, the sick, insidious cycle, is right when there's a major, again, I'm using the crazy terminology. When we have a major mass shooting of national interest, we should have an abbreviation for that. There are many people who say, now that this is again in the spotlight, as it is every few days, we should really do something about gun safety laws. And these are very popular proposals. We saw even a Fox News poll last week said that most Americans favor requiring a background check in every case of a gun transaction, even between private individuals. These things are very popular. Oh, we can't politicize this in the immediate aftermath. Tensions are running high. The families haven't buried their dead. You hear all this stuff. But we do send our thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers, you can do at any time. And then a little while goes by, and then hopefully the people seeking to make change, hopefully I mean from the perspective of the gun people, the people seeking to make change forget, or they move on, or whatever the case may be. And then nothing happens, and then we have our next major mass shooting of national interest, and then same cycle over and over and over again. I have to tell you, though, we did hear from a few people after the shooting in Allen, Texas, who were stepping out of their, you might call it their prescribed characters, and actually said things that make a lot of sense. I want to look at a couple examples of this with you right now.